Senator Ron Johnson, who's a member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, thank you so much for being on the show.
Good morning, Luke.
So I cover Capitol Hill, and I got to tell you, a bunch of what we heard about last year was the government shutdown, was the problems with the Obamacare exchanges, was the illegal immigration. There weren't a lot of people beating their drum about the threat of ISIS. What did we really know last year, and why weren't members of Congress more vocal if the president wasn't being vocal?
Well, let's face it, President Obama is the commander-in-chief, and he's really in control of the situation. I think there were hearings. I think people were concerned. There are a number of people that were speaking out about it. But in the end, President Obama controls our foreign policy. He's the commander-in-chief. And let's face it, I mean, the bottom line here is he was calling ISIS a JV team. He was denying reality. He actually wanted to believe his own narrative that al-Qaeda had been decimated, they were on the run, and that his strategy of peace through withdrawal was actually working. It didn't work. It hasn't worked. It won't work. And so now at least he's finally facing reality. He's starting to take some stronger, more resolute action. Let's hope his strategy is going to work this time.
ISIS seems to be withstanding these airstrikes. It's certainly disrupted them a little bit, but they aren't necessarily disappearing off the face of the earth. Can these continue going on as they are and be effective if there is not some sort of ground force?
Well, I think the airstrikes are effective at stopping ISIS's advance. But that's probably about all it's going to be good for, because as the earlier guest was talking about, is ISIS, they're not stupid. They're not going to stand out there in the open and subject themselves to destruction through airstrikes. So they're going to infiltrate into communities. They're going to do exactly what Hamas has done in Gaza. They're going to get amongst the population, hide amongst the people. They'll try and be protected by individuals. And so airstrikes simply will not be effective at defeating ISIS. We can stop their advance, but if you really want to defeat them, if you want to accomplish the goal that President Obama has set, degrade and ultimately destroy ISIS, you're going to need some kind of ground forces. And then the question is, whose ground forces are going to actually be employed to do that?
And I was in Wisconsin back in March covering Paul Ryan, but I was in conservative areas of the state at these town halls, and almost every constituent to a person said, we do not want to have our sons and daughters back on those Middle Eastern grounds dying and giving blood. Do you support possibly the use of ground troops at one point to advance this mission, and how would that play with your constituents?
Well, look, nobody relishes war. But I think what you're seeing is American people, just in the recent polls, are acknowledging the reality that President Obama was denying. It's not whether we're going to choose to go to war. That choice has already been made for us. It was made, from my standpoint, in 1993 when Islamic terrorists tried to take down the World Trade Center towers. And so the American public, hates the reality, but they're willing to face the reality that Islamic terrorists are at war with America. And our only choice is, are we going to fight that war on the defense, or are we going to go on the offense? And then exactly how do you go on the offense? And certainly what I'm hearing from members of the military that were in Iraq, they're a little ticked off about the fact that all their hard-fought gains were pretty well frittered away by bugging out of there, by not leaving a stabilizing force. And now Iraq is disintegrated. ISIS was able to rise from the ashes from what was al-Qaeda in Iraq. They're not happy about that, and I think America, and I think certainly our military is resigned to the fact that this is an evil that has to be defeated.
Senator Ron Johnson, thank you very much for your views. We appreciate it. It certainly looks like a prolonged struggle. Take care. A live look now on Capitol Hill.